Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us this morning for the second day of the WCN 2020 Virtual Fall Expo. I'm Dr. Laurie Marker, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Cheetah Conservation Fund. Today, I'm excited to share some of our stories with you about the cheetahs and our conservation programs. We've developed these programs to help create a future for the cheetah. I've been working with cheetahs since the early 1970s. In Oregon at the Wildlife Safari. I first came to what is now Namibia, and my home now, in 1977 with Cayenne, a cheetah I raised at the Wildlife Safari in Oregon. In Namibia, I conducted groundbreaking research, seeing if a captive-born cheetah could learn how to hunt. This old video shows our first early success in rehabilitation. To honor her, I chose Cayenne's birthday. The 4th of December is International Cheetah Day, and now people around the world celebrate saving the cheetah. In Namibia, I learned that thousands of cheetahs were being removed from the landscape due to conflict with farmers who perceived cheetahs as a threat to their livelihood, and subsequently, they were shooting and trapping cheetahs to protect their livestock. Hundreds of cheetahs every year. I wanted to create a world where farmers and cheetahs could coexist. After several years and finding no other international organization working for the cheetah, in 1990, I founded the Cheetah Conservation Fund as the first international organization in the world trying to save the cheetah. We set up in the newly formed country of Namibia with the help of the founding president, Dr. Sam Nyoma. Our aim, to save the cheetah in the wild. In 1991, I moved to Otjiwarongo and established the physical home of the Cheetah Conservation Fund. This is what we look like today on a 140,000-acre integrated livestock and wildlife reserve, research and education center. When I walk through our CCF campus, it's hard to believe that all of this started with a plane ticket and a Land Rover and a vision to stop killing the cheetah. In the early days, not a lot was known about wild cheetahs, and we set out to fill in these gaps. And today we've actually written the book on everything that we now know about the cheetah today. We took samples from every cat we put our hands on to learn more about their biology, their diet, and genetics. Research questions involved understanding gene flow, and adaptive questions about cheetah's behavioral ecology. We began playing a key role in training the next generation of African conservation scientists. We tracked cheetahs by airplane with radio collars to learn about their movements and home ranges, that of over 800 square miles. In the early days, every day was different and an adventure into the unknown. No 2 days were the like. We were breaking new ground in cheetah research, often performing procedures and experiments that were new. In 1992, we started the Future Conservationist of Africa education program, focusing on an integrated conservation curriculum, engaging Namibian students with the natural world around them. This program continues to grow. We'll talk more about our Future Conservationists of Africa program and its impact a little bit later on. In 1994, we imported the first Anatolian shepherd livestock guardian dogs into Africa from the United States, forming the beginnings of our livestock guardian dog program. These Turkish dogs have protected livestock from predators for over 5,000 years. To date, we have bred and placed nearly 700 dogs with farmers in Namibia and helped start programs in South Africa, Botswana, Tanzania, and even South America with some of our WCN partners. Puppies are born and raised with our goats. They bond to and protect what they are raised with. We place the puppies on farms when they're young so they bond with and protect their new flocks. Farmers with a livestock guardian dog have seen a reduction of livestock loss to predators by over 80%. Our livestock guardian dog program has led to intensive training with farmers. With this, we've developed our Future Farmer of Africa program, leading to training in integrated livestock, wildlife, and rangeland management. Even beginning our habitat restoration program, CCF Bush, where we harvest thickened thorn bush, which has been caused from overgrazing of livestock in an arid environment. And we make low impact, high heat fuel logs called bush block. We're now even using the chip bush to make livestock feed, and will soon be making biomass electricity. We are Forest Stewardship Council certified as well. The future for the cheetah is all about our staff and the people we have worked with throughout the last 30 years, and the communities that live alongside the cheetah. Our vision is to stop the indiscriminate killing of cheetahs and find a way that cheetahs can live in the wild and continue their important role in the ecosystem. With less than 7,500 cheetahs left in the world, we need to work even faster. Our education programs work in concert with our research and conservation efforts, which has the ultimate goal of saving cheetahs throughout their range. Our Future Conservationist of Africa program focuses on educating Namibian students on ecology, conservation, and the value of predators in the ecosystem. I'd like to introduce you to Annetjie Siyaya, who is our Research and Education Manager.
Thank you, Laurie, and hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be part of CCF because I've witnessed their impact firsthand. I grew up in Otjiwarongo, the closest town to the CCF Center. I first came to CCF when I was 13 years old with a church club called Pathfinder. The following year in high school, I joined an environmental club, and we came to CCF for environmental education programs every year I was in high school. Little did I know this is where I was going to find my path in conservation. I remember meeting CCF's first and most important orphan ambassador, Cheetah, Chewbacca, on my first visit to CCF. I could not understand why anyone would want to kill this amazingly beautiful animal. One of my absolute favorite activities to do at the CCF Center was riding the bike in the CCF Museum. I would pedal so fast in hopes that I would outrun the cheetah, but the cheetah always won, of course. These, among many other memories, stuck with me so long that I realized that I wanted to be involved in wildlife conservation when I grew up. Fast forward to the present, I now manage the same program I participated in as a teenager. I also manage the internship and research program, where we have dozens of Namibian and international university students intern alongside our team of conservation scientists. The Future Conservationist of Africa program provides interactive platforms and experiences for young people to learn about Namibia's endangered big cat, the cheetah. This program teaches students the value of predators as a part of their ecosystem, as well as how to live in harmony with them. Our goals for the program are to increase students' knowledge of wildlife and create a positive perception of not only cheetahs, but predators in general. We have increased student excitement about Namibia's natural wonders and helped them to better understand the importance of their role in the conservation of Namibia's rich biodiversity. Due to COVID-19 this year, we've not been able to do our normal outreach, so we have developed online learning following our cross-curricular teachers resource guide. Since the early 1990s, over 700,000 students have participated in our program, and we have fostered nearly 700 Namibian and international interns who have participated in our wildlife conservation, science, agriculture, and ecotourism. Students that have been through our programs have gone on to contribute to conservation at various organizations and government ministries. And some, such as myself, have come back to work save the cheetah from extinction. I always say that when you've inspired a young person, you've inspired them for life. And that inspiration will lead them into doing great things for the wildlife and the environment, like our team of interns here at the CCF. Education is a powerful tool in conservation. In 2003, we expanded our education outreach programs by starting Future Farmers of Africa, a program aimed at rural farmers. We teach predator-friendly farming techniques, herd and range management, disease control vaccination programs, sustainable wildlife use, and business principles. To date, over 15,000 farmers have participated, and the training continues to be in high demand. Future Farmers of Africa is focused on building practical skills and showing them how to maximize both economic and environmental benefits. This allows them to see the cheetah as not an enemy, but an important part of the ecosystem. And as a result, farmers are more open to coexisting with cheetah and other predators. This shift not only helps Namibia to be a stronghold for Southern Africa's cheetah population, but has also made farmers allies in our ongoing conservation efforts. So our programs have focused on educating farmers, communities, and students, because everyone has a role to play in helping save the cheetah from extinction. Thank you all for listening. I'll now pass you back to Laurie, who will continue to tell you more about some of our conservation success stories.
Thanks, Annetjie. I'd like to now tell you a story about one of our special cheetahs, Jacomina, a young female cheetah who was caught by a farmer in 2007 along with her sisters and brought to CCF's Research and Education Center. Although she was under a year old, she and her sisters were good candidates for rehabilitation. She was treated by our veterinarian staff and then placed into an enclosure away from our core center. In order to prepare cheetahs for release, it's almost more about what we do not do than that which makes them successful, as there is not much we can do as humans to prepare a wild animal for a life in the wild. In 2013, Jacomina was fitted with a GPS satellite collar and released into the wild. All we can do is ensure that they're in good physical condition and mitigate their habituation to humans. Post-release, we followed our rehabilitation cheetahs very closely, and Jacomina was no exception. We try not to interfere, but to provide them as safe an environment as possible and to give them the time they need to learn how to be in the wild on their own. We monitor them to make sure that they're finding water and are successfully hunting. As they prove that they're doing well, the monitoring becomes less intensive and shifts to monitoring them through their GPS satellite collars. Much to our delight, Jacomina did very well. In the beginning of 2014, we found Jacomina had given birth to a litter of 2 cubs. We watched Jacomina successfully raise this litter, Shandy and Savannah, to adulthood. Last year, Savannah raised 2 cubs of her own, which recently dispersed. And in March of this year, she gave birth again and is currently raising a new litter of cubs. I want to put this into perspective. Savannah was born to Jacomina, a female that we released into the wild. Savannah was the first generation born in the wild to a CCF rehabilitated cheetah. And not only that, she herself has now also raised cubs to adulthood. This is a tremendous achievement, as successful reproduction is the ultimate measure for rehabilitation. Our successes are due to our educational programs and because of the trust that we've built with the farming communities and the Namibian Ministry of Environment, Forestry, and Tourism. Through our years in research, education, and conservation, we've been able to put over 600 cheetahs back out into the wild. These were healthy animals that were caught indiscriminately by farmers who, after discussion, allowed us to release them back out into the wild. After collecting vital samples for health, reproduction, and genetics. But rehabilitation of released cheetahs is different. Today, we have rehabilitated over 60 of our orphan cheetahs back out into the wild, like Jacomina. Releasing a cheetah back into the wild is still a thrill and one of the most rewarding things that we do. It brings a tangible moment to all of the hard work from our team in our mission to conserve the cheetah. In 2015, we had a similar situation of that of Jacomina. This time it was 4 cubs. Their mother was shot at a game fence farm, and we were called to collect the trapped cubs. We raise them in a large rehabilitation camp, as we do with all the cheetahs destined for rehabilitation. We fed and exercised them daily by driving around the enclosure, and they chase the vehicle, and this keeps them in great physical condition. When they were about 3 years old, we put GPS satellite collars on them and took them to the Orindi Game Ranch for rehabilitation. This year, after nearly 2 years of monitoring, 3 of our rehabilitated females had cubs, all about the same time. We continue to monitor them remotely, working closely with our partners on the ground, who provide daily updates on how they're doing and what they're hunting. We try to put as many cheetahs back out into the wild as possible, but not all are successful candidates. This is the reason for our sanctuary here at our Research and Education Center in Namibia. Most of our cheetahs have come in as tiny cubs, needing extensive care and bottle feeding. And this makes them too imprinted on humans to be able to return back out into the wild. Some of them have come in and have suffered injuries, preventing them to be able to hunt in the wild. Our CCF sanctuary provides research and education opportunities, like ongoing banking of sperm of our male cheetahs. Our research has led to the first ever cheetah cubs born from in vitro fertilization earlier this year at the Columbus Zoo. These techniques were developed through years of baseline research here at our Research and Education Center in Namibia with our collaborators from the Smithsonian's Institution's National Zoo. Currently, we care for about 40 cheetahs at our Namibian sanctuary, where we provide them with daily exercise in their large enclosures. They also act as ambassadors and provide an opportunity for visitors to see a cheetah close up. Our latest challenge extends beyond Namibia into the Horn of Africa, where cheetah cubs are being smuggled into the Middle East for the pet trade. For the past several years, we've been working with the Somaliland Ministry of Environment and Rural Development to care for cubs which have been confiscated from the illegal wildlife pet trade. We are currently caring for 50 cheetahs in Somaliland, with 20 of them that have just come in the last 3 months. We built a sanctuary, a veterinary clinic, and are working with the communities to stop the trade by adapting our Future Conservationist and Future Farmers of Africa programs, leveraging existing laws and adding political pressure to stop this illegal pet trade. Our staff works with governments throughout the cheetah's range. In this photo, our staff is making a statement for all of us to remember the last of the 50 Asiatic cheetahs, a subspecies which is only found in Iran today. Setting up the Cheetah Conservation Fund has been my life, a life that I have been able to give to this most amazing species. And it's through the people that support these efforts that have made cheetahs part of an ecosystem, part of a country, part of a continent, and part of the world. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal, but we have to be faster if we're going to save them for the future. A huge thank you to all of our cheetah friends and cheetah family, especially WCN, who believe in the work we do, and to our supporters who have been supporting our work for the past 30 years. Thanks to your support and generosity, we're able to help the cheetah outrun extinction. Please join us as we work to change the world to save the cheetah. Thank you.